So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
I know that's right.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Dana with the Data. Today, honey, we're going to talk about Jemele Hill because she is in hot water. She has received a lot of backlash, not only from the Latino community, but from everyone. She took to her podcast and she asked the question, are Latinos to blame for Jasmine Crockett's loss? Yes. Because, and that is a blame that the Latinos will raise their hand and say, yes, we did not vote for her because she insulted them. But either way, this is what Jemele Hill had to say about Latino voters.
There are Latinos who feel like they did it the right way, and because they did it the right way, they're trying to pull up the ladder for everybody else and say, hey, yeah, we did it the right way. We did it the way that, because what they're really saying is we did it the way the white people told us to do it. And because we did it, we want our gold star. We want gold star for Marcus. And because you guys may have come a different way, and we had to do all this to get to this point and to get this close, I need y'all to do the same thing.
Yes.
And my thing is, listen, they get here how they get here. Okay? Why you doing the work of somebody that don't respect you anyway? I mean, it's like, what? White supremacy, if you guys haven't figured it out by now, white supremacy doesn't need any help. They don't need assistance. They don't need foot soldiers. A lot of y'all weren't even recruited and just decided to join the movement. They don't need new recruits. So why are you doing the work for them? Why are you carrying the water? It's just, why? For the mythical prize of being elevated by a certain group that will make you feel more American? Because we all know in this country, we have associated being American and what a patriot is with, frankly, being white. And so you feel like if you're closer to that, then you're closer to whatever is the identity and the feel and the look of what somebody is supposed to be. It doesn't work that way.
So she's basically trying to say that the Latino community, particularly in Texas, was sending a message to illegals saying that being that we are citizens and we did it the right way, so should you. So we're going to vote to make sure that the borders are closed and that illegal migrants get deported. And apparently in Jemele Hill eyes, that is being a white supremacist. So she's basically saying that Latino voters in Texas are acting and behaving like white supremacists by making sure that people come into this country the right way, the legal way, like they did. But she's upset because she's saying it doesn't matter how illegals get here. Those are your people. Just be glad that they're here and support them. It doesn't work like that. Now, there are a lot of Latinos who do check off white, the white Latinos, but this is not, she's trying to correlate every Latino as in saying you're trying to be like a white person by voting Republican or voting against Jasmine Crockett, who is for open border.
The Cubans, as we know, that are in Miami, the I will vote for Donald Trumps, they are very soft targets for misinformation. A lot of Latino and Hispanic communities are, to be frank. And especially if you're from Cuba. Cubans hear socialism, communism, and as long as the Republicans use those words to describe democratic policies, they will vote Republican every time, even if they're voting for themselves to be put out of America. They will do it every time. And so that's something that it requires a level of sophistication to understand. Mm-hmm. And one of the main platforms for the disinformation is Univision. And many of the Spanish language newspapers, many of them are owned by conservative, right-leaning people. And so they constantly are a group that is filtered full of misinformation.
Well, newsflash, Jemele Hill, a lot or majority of Latinos are conservative. And the Latino voting bloc, just like the Asian voting bloc, they really are not committed to any political party. Like Black people are committed to the Democrat Party. There are white people that are committed to Republicans and the Democrats. But Asians, Latinos, they're not committed to a particular political party. They look at, you need to work for our votes. They are very conservative. They are pro-business, pro-family, and anti-illegals. Cubans were allowed to come here because they were the different Cubans. They were the very light white Cubans. So their mentality has always been about capitalism. So I don't understand why she's bringing up Cubans as if, and then calling them ignorant to the fact. Calling them ignorant and alluding to, well, they're getting misinformation, so they don't understand what they're doing. They don't realize what they're doing. No, they know our system. A lot of immigrants come here, know the American system better than most Americans. And majority of Latinos, whether you're in Texas or Florida, they are conservative, whether they are blue or red. It's just so happened that you have a very large population of Republican Latinos. And I want to play this next clip of a woman basically explaining the truth, the real reasons why Jasmine Crockett did not get elected.
Oh no. What do you mean? Jasmine not going to Congress for Texas? Oh, Crockett. A girl can only dream. Listen, Jasmine, what was that one quote that you said? Let me think. Oh yeah, we done picking cotton. You can't pay us enough to go find a plantation. Yeah, you remember that? I remember that. How could I forget? See, 6.5 million Hispanic voters in Texas, which is like the majority of the electoral vote here in the state. And you mean to tell me that you think that we're still picking cotton? Hell no, girl. Hell no, that's why you lost. Because you're fucking racist. I'm gonna tell you something real quick. If you would have pitched that in 2002, 2001, you probably could have gotten like a good drift. However, that was people in the past. Those kids that I grew up with that were chasing a field every summer, every spring with their parents, moving school to school because they had to go pick fruit with their parents, are now grown up. And guess what? Do you think that they're gonna go back to picking fields when they have a citizenship? No. As a matter of fact, they're not even looking to vote for blue people with blue policies that put their parents in fields. Fuck no. Some of them are real estate investors, business owners, they're passing down generational wealth, and you think that they're picking cotton. You out of your goddamn mind. I'm gonna remind you real quick, the majority of the Latino voters for Trump here in Texas live in the southern border. You know what happened in the southern border? No. Why? Because neither you nor Kamala have the balls to go down there. I'm gonna tell you what happened. Along the Texas border, poverty levels are sky high as it is. When you import a bunch of riffraff from third world countries and they end up in those southern border towns, they strain the resources for those people. Those people can't even survive. And then you're bringing in all this fucking riffraff with a CBP1 app, Ticketmaster to the United States, and you leave them there. That's why our governor had to ship all those fucking people out. And then y'all complain, oh, you were shipping all. Yeah, because you guys brought them here. You blue people brought them here to Texas, and the southern towns were suffering. Not only that, but there was violence across the border in Tamaulipas, in Reynosa, all those cartels fighting to bring all those people over here. Why? Because they were profiting billions of dollars. And your ass still thinks that we're picking cotton? Take that. No Congress for Jasmine. As a matter of fact, why don't you go run for Missouri? What did you do in Missouri that they don't want you to run for them? Oh, I know. Exactly. Because people in Missouri see right through your bullshit, and so do we in Texas. Keeping Texas red.
There you have it. There you have it. She summed it up. And every word this woman said, I 1000% agree. Now, let's get into some data. Let's get into some Texas data. See, the Latino demographic in Texas is one of the most significant and rapidly evolving voting blocs in the United States. As early as 2026, Latinos make up approximately 20 to 32% of all eligible voters in the state and roughly 26% of all registered voters. Recent election cycle, particularly in 2024 presidential election, have shown a majority shift in traditional voting patterns, followed by a potential pendulum swing in the recent 2026 primary activity. The 2024 shift, a general election exit poll suggested Donald Trump won approximately 55% of the Latino vote in Texas, a record for a Republican candidate. He saw massive gains in the Rio Grande Valley, South Texas, and the lady was just speaking about the border part of Texas, winning 14 of the 18 counties within 20 miles of the border. 2026 correction, early data from March 2026 primaries that just happened indicates a resurgence in Democrat mobilization. In several heavy Latino counties like Zapata and Rivas, Democrat primary turnout actually succeeded the total number of votes Kamala Harris received in 2024, suggesting a reaction to current administration policies. Now, if we look at the chart here, when we talk about gender, Latino men in Texas swung more heavily towards the GOP with 55% favoring Trump, while Latino women remain more split, but still lean more Democrats than the men. Young Latinos, age 18 to 34, make up about 36% of the Hispanic electorate. They are generally more volatile and less attached to specific party than the older generation. The geographics, the rural/border, massive shift towards Republicans in 2024. And then you have the urban-suburban areas remaining more competitive, though Republicans have made a lot of inroads in Houston and San Antonio suburbs. Education, Texas Latinos with college degrees show higher favorability towards Republican candidates in 2024 at 53%, compared to those without degrees at 45%. Top issues driving the vote. Economic concerns remain the dominant force for Latino voters in Texas. Ranked highest with 40% of voters reporting worsened personal finance. Then you have the immigration border security, a critical double-edged issue focusing on both paths to legal status and increased border enforcement. So Latino voters in Texas want border enforcement and they want you to come here the right way. And then last, healthcare costs. Constantly ranks at the top 3 priorities, focusing on medication and insurance accessibility. When we look at the language, 68% of registered Latino voters are bilingual. 20% primarily only speak English. And 12% are Spanish dominant. So a large portion of the Latino population in Texas speak both English and Spanish. The 12% that only speak Spanish, that 12% may be the ones who are not full citizens. Maybe they have a green card, maybe they're temporary residencies, but that's 12%. That's still a decent voting bloc. In the 2024 presidential election, 55% of Latinos voted for Trump, 45% voted for Kamala Harris. Eligible voters, 5.1 million, that's 30 to 32% in the state total. New voters make up 38% of the current Latino electorate just joined since 2016, making this a young and highly persuadable group. That's 38% up for grabs. And in recent activity in the early 2026 primary data shows a potential Democratic correction in specific South Texas counties, suggesting that the GOP, like I said, made massive gains. So this is why Texas stays red. Listen, in Texas, you need the white and Latino votes. They are the dominant population. Texas does have the largest Black population in the United States, but compared to other populations in the state of Texas, Latinos and white citizens outweigh the Black population. But the Latino vote, anybody running from any office, whether it's president or state senate, you need the Latino vote. You have 38% of new voters, 62% established voters, 5.1 million eligible Latino voters, and a total population of 12.4%. And out of that 12.4% of the Hispanic population, how many of that, what is the percentage of that that's going to end up being citizens and able to vote? So again, you need to win over the Latino votes to win a Senate, and depending on what district or what county, to win a House seat, to win a state seat, to win governor, to win just about anything. You need the Latino vote. So when you say, oh, we tired, Black people are tired picking cotton, to assume that let the Latinos come in here because they're the ones that's going to be picking the oranges, that is insulting because they're not the ones voting. It's just that the Democrats, they don't want to pass the SAFE Act because they want the illegals to be able to vote. So they want the illegals that come in here and pick the oranges and work the farms. They want them to vote because they know those people are going to come in and vote blue. But the established Latinos who are citizens and who are eligible to vote, they are conservative, and the Republicans have an edge over the Democrats. And that is why Jasmine Crockett lost. She did not know how to read the room. She is not a native of Texas, so she does not know the culture of Texas, and she didn't do her homework on how people vote in Texas. How do the Black people vote? How do the Latinos vote? How do the white people vote? Tellerico, he did his homework and he has an edge over her because he is Latino, and he didn't say anything insulting about white people, Latinos, or Black. So are Latinos to blame for Jasmine Crockett loss? Yes, but they shall also be applauded because they seen her bullshit. And thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Dana with the Data. Bye.
Dana with the data. Dana with the data.